Hello everyone, this is Nitika Gupta working as Assistant Professor at School of Computer Applications, BBD University. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on project quality management and this is my third lecture of the third module in the software project management. And in this lecture we will discuss about what is project quality management and what are the characteristics of project quality management, why it is so much important, and how do you define a quality in any project management, and how do you manage quality in project management. So let's start the session and know about all of these. Now, before starting project about the project quality management, I just want to tell you that quality management plan can help you define what quality means for your project and outline a framework for you to ensure quality is carried on throughout. So, uh, pursuing a quality management plan requires intentionally and time. So throughout this session, I'll get you started with an explanation of the core aspects of the quality management plan and benefits of quality management that show you why it is important, and steps to create a quality management plan. So you can apply the principles in this complete topic to any type of project. Uh, but I have specifically focused on making a software quality management plan because I know that it's both common and complicated to do on your own if you have not done it before. So the question is first the question is what is quality management, right? Quality management all comes down to how you make sure everything you create in a project is of value and maintained well. It may be seen throughout all phases and roles of a project if implemented well. So, quality management includes creating and following policies and procedures to ensure that a project meet the defined needs from the customer's perspective. So, quality definition and concepts are: quality is defined as the degree to which the project fulfills requirements, or quality means fitness for use. It is according to Joseph Zoran. Second is, quality is the degree to which a set of inherent characteristics fulfill requirements. It is based on ISO 9000. The third definition says that prevention is the better than control. Like do it right the first time, and zero defects is the goal of quality. It is according to the Philip Crosby. The fourth definition, according to Kaizen, quality relates to continuous improvement of people and procedures. And quality versus grade versus gold planting. Quality management is applying the processes that will ensure the project will meet the needs for which it was undertaken. And last, quality relates to processes and procedures, not people. Or quality is the management's problem. Management needs to provide the procedures and resources for the employees to produce quality product. It is according to the Edward Denham. Now, to understand quality management, we also need to understand what quality refers to. Actually, there are two key aspects of quality management, that is First is product quality, and second one is process quality. Actually, I'm going to discuss about everything in quality management plan, but before starting this, I want to tell you what is the difference between product quality and process quality. So the product quality, that this is your actual tangible product. It could be the app you have built, the design prototypes your designer team built, or even the code documentation your developers wrote, right? So this is the product quality. The process quality is, as project managers, we are responsible for creating and maintaining processes. However, in the context of quality management, we must also consider the quality and impact our processes have on our team's ability to deliver results. Quality here might be measured by metrics such as velocity. So this is the basic difference between the product quality and process quality. Now, here some processes are mentioned. First is plan quality management. In first plan quality management, the process of identifying project's quality requirement and how these requirements will be met. Second one is perform quality assurance. Here, we apply the quality requirements and audit results from quality control process to ensure proper procedures are applied. Third one is control quality. In this process, we measure and record quality requirement to ensure quality is achieved and recommend changes if needed. Now, let's talk about the first, that is plan quality management. The process of identifying quality requirement and or standards for the project and product, and documenting how the project will demonstrate compliance. Now, what is quality for this project? How will we ensure it? So this is based on 3 steps. Like first is input, and some tools and techniques are there. And the third one is output that we get from these input. Now, in input, it includes project management plan, stakeholder register, risk register, requirement documentation, and the 6th EEF OPA. Tools and techniques include cost benefit analysis, cost of quality, benchmarking, design of experiments, statistical sampling, additional quality planning tools, and the 7th one is meetings. 7 basic quality techniques. Output includes quality management plan, quality matrix, quality checklist, process improvement plan, and project document updates. So there are some inputs, some tools and techniques that we use, and some outputs that produce from these processes. This is the DFD of plan quality management, that includes some steps like develop project management plan. Then first we have to identify stakeholders, then develop project management plan, collect requirements, identify risk, enterprise and organization, and perform quality assurance and control quality, and it gives in output project document and identify risk. Now, plan quality management. Project management plan, that is a scope baseline, is the scope statement of scope baseline gives us important information related to project quality. The scope statements contains project deliverables and acceptance criteria for these deliverables. The second point is The acceptance criteria can greatly affect the project quality requirements, hence cost of quality or cost of project as a whole. Third, other elements of the project management plan used for planning the quality are the schedule baseline and cost baseline, which tells us when the work is needed to be done and when the money is going to be spent. The second step that we are going to follow in the project plan quality management in inputs, that is stakeholder register. It tells us about the stakeholder that are concerned with quality aspect of the project. The third point of the input is risk register, that contains information about the risk that may affect the quality of the project. The fourth step, that is requirements documentation. The requirements documentation include stakeholder requirements about the project, product, and quality of the product. And the requirements documentation will help us better plan control quality process. The fifth step of input is EEF and OPA, that is government regulations and industry standards, policies and procedures, historical informations, etc. So these are some inputs in plan quality management. Let's talk about some tools and techniques that are considered in the plan quality management. First one is cost benefit analysis. I have already discussed about this cost benefit analysis in my previous sessions, in my previous lectures. So the main reason behind maintaining quality is to have less rework, lower cost, higher productivity, and higher customer satisfaction. So in cost benefit analysis, we compare benefits versus the cost of meeting quality requirements. The second step is cost of quality. Second tool and technique is the cost of quality, that says that looking at what the cost of conformance and non-conformance to quality and creating an appropriate balance. Now, cost of conformance should be less than cost of non-conformance. Like in cost of conformance, it includes prevention cost, appraisal cost, like prevention, like build a quality product. It includes training, document process, and equipment, time to do it right. And appraisal cost, it include testing, destructive testing loss, inspections. So prevention cost and appraisal cost, that should be less than the internal failure cost or external failure cost. Like money spent during the project to avoid failures, and in cost of non-conformance, money spent during and after the project because of failures. Now third tool is 7 basic quality tool. The 7 QC, that is quality control tools as they are called, are used in within the context of plan, do, check, act, PDCA, plan, do, check, act cycle to solve quality related problems. And it includes cause and effect diagram. Cause and effect diagram, that is that diagram or fishbone diagram or Ishikawa diagram is used to find possible causes of a problem or failure. Now, the problem, that is the effect, is placed at the head of fish, and the possible source of the problem, that is the cause, is sought after in the 4 factors like machine, man, methods, and materials. As you can see in this diagram, the whole process is conducted in brainstorming sessions. The steps involved are as follow: identify the problem. Second is work out the major factor involved. Third, identify possible causes. Fourth, analyze your diagram. So you can also add factors such as environment and material or any other factors deemed related. And in the same that 7 basic quality tool, um, a flow chart, like first is our cause and effect diagram. The second is flow chart process. It also called process maps because flowcharts display sequence of steps. The flowchart transforms one or more input to one or more outputs, right? So flowchart shows logical relationship between different process. Flowcharts help us in better understanding the process. Flowchart is also a good communication which shows what really happens in process or what should happen. Flowcharts also shows a decision point in a process. And flowchart will help us in better understanding the cost related to quality requirements. Now, the here some suppliers, inputs, process, output, and customer are there. In supplier, mechanic, we can say mechanic that include memory, tool vendor, for example, Radio Shack, electricity utility, and provider. So this diagram is a process of upgrading laptop memory. It shows it is the example of process of upgrading a laptop memory. So in input, we have a laptop, anti-static gloves, tools, memory, power supply, toolbox. And in process, it includes seven process step. That is, test the laptop for existing memory, shut down the laptop, then wear anti-static gloves, and open the laptop back panel, replace old memory module with new one, then close the laptop and turn it back, and then test the laptop for the new memory. And in output you get upgraded laptop for old memory modules. And in output actually you get two things. The first is upgraded laptop and the old memory module that is initially installed in your laptop, and customer owner of laptop. Now here some suppliers, input, process, output, customer are there. And third third one is in 7QC tool, the third process is check sheet. Check sheets or tally sheet are used to collect useful data about a problem or its attributes when performing inspections. Check sheets can also be used checklist. So check sheets tells us about a problem and its frequency of occurrence diagram. Data obtained through check sheets are often used for generating Pareto diagram. Pareto diagram, uh, I also make a video on a single video, individual video on the Pareto diagram in my 7th lecture. No, I think it's my 5th lecture. Yes, in my 5th lecture, I have discussed about the Pareto diagram completely. So here a checklist sample that for motor assembly check sheet, name of the data recorder must be their location and data collection date. And some points are there in the table form, so you can see in this slide. Fourth one is Pareto diagram. Pareto thought 80% of the quality related problems are effects of 20% of the cause. So in this Pareto diagram, I have already discussed everything about the Pareto analysis step by step in my fifth lecture. If you have any problem regarding Pareto diagram, you can check my fifth lecture that is based on the Pareto analysis. That it is just a statistical technique in decision making used for the selection of a limited number of tasks that produce significant overall effect. So it uses the Pareto principle, that also known as the 80-20 rule. The idea that by doing 20% of the work, you can generate 80% of the benefit of doing the entire job. So uh, I can say we can apply the 80-20 rule to almost anything. Like 80% of customer complaints arise from 20% of your product and services, like all these. So Pareto diagram is a special type of vertical bar chart that shows frequency of the sources of a problem and cumulative percentage of all vital sources. And the bars shows each source, and the line shows a cumulative total. So here in this diagram, actually the value of Pareto principle for a project manager is that it reminds you to focus on the 20% of the thing that matter, of the thing you do for your project. Only 20% are crucial. The 20% produces 80% of your results, and identify and focus on those things first, but don't entirely ignore the remaining 80% of the causes. So this is just about the Pareto diagram. The uh, next technique is histodiagram in the 7 basic quality tool. Fifth one is histogram. Histograms are a special type of bar charts that show central tendency, dispersion, and shape of statistical distribution. So in this example, uh, the distribution of data is based on a bell curve. As you can see, the bold line, the bold curve, bell shaped, and the name comes from its shape, which like a bell, looks like a bell. So overall shape shows distribution, and in this example, the highest frequency of the measurement was between 20 and 22. The occurrence or frequency for this measurement is close to 28 times. So in the second one, which shows the bell curve, 16 to 80, in between 16 to 80, the cell indicate that there are about 10 measurements between 16 and 18. And in likewise, in the 18 to 20, there was approx 25 measurements between the 18 to 20. The sixth technique is control charts in the 7 basic quality tool. The control charts are used to know whether a process is stable or has the desired performance. Control charts are used for repetitive process, for example, manufacturing. If we get 7 results on the either side of the mean, we conclude that the process is out of control. See, fourth, Also, if a measurement is out of control limits, we conclude that the process is out of control. See in the third, right? Control charts are also used to determine if a management process is in control by measuring factors and factors like schedule or cost variances or the frequency of changes into scope, etc. So in the first, that line, horizontal line on 8, this is the upper control limit, and the last line that at uh, 1 dotted horizontal line is shows lower control limit, and the lowest at the 0, and in between 4 and 5 it shows the out of control, and at the upper control limit it shows rule of 7 out of control if 7 measurements are above or below the mean, and in 1 horizontal line specification limit it shows, and is point determined by customer, not calculated based on control charts. The last technique in the 7 basic quality tool is scatter diagram. Scatter diagram is used to check for correlation between two variables. Once we know that there is a correlation between the two variables, then we can estimate how changes to independent variables can result in a change in the dependent variables. Here, graph A, B, C, and D show different correlation that may exist between two variables. For example, in graph B, the y-axis may show number of iteration and x-axis may show number of bugs found in the software. Now, next fourth technique is benchmarking. It means comparing the project in hand with similar projects completed in the past in order to identify best practices and generate new ideas. The fifth technique is design of experiment. DOE, that is design of experiment, is used to identify factors that can influence different variables of the product or process, and DOE is used in plant quality management to determine the number and type of tests needed to achieve the required quality. Here, in design of experiment, we can change multiple variables at a time. In doing so, we find optimal condition for product or process. Imagine the example on the left is about producing brick under different conditions or which an input of different proportions of the materials. Once we know that various factors can influence our product in various ways, we will develop test or quality checklist for them. The next student technique is statistical sampling. Statistical sampling refers to choosing few items as a sample from a larger group of items. Here we do not do the actual sampling but decide on how we will do house sampling in the coming quality process. And this will help us in correctly determining the cost of quality. The seventh tool and technique is other quality tools like brainstorming used for generating ideas, force field analysis, this is a diagram of forces for and against change. Nominal group technique, in this technique we vote for ideas to be further discussed by a larger group of people. And the quality control and management tools, this tool will be explained in the next process. These tools are used to link and sequence the tools of the project. And meetings, like quality related meetings, are attended by the project sponsor, project management, selected project team members, selected stakeholders, team members that are responsible for quality of the project. Now below is an example of force field diagram. In this force field, you basically identify the force that will support or oppose a planned work, which usually is something related to the change. And in the force field, you basically identify the force the will support that will support or oppose the change. This will help you better understand the situation and plan your quality accordingly. Now, some output should be there, like quality management plan explains how organizations' quality policies will be implemented. Depending on the project, the plan can be very delayed or simple. Sorry, detailed or simple. And process improvement plan. Process improvement plan is a part of a project management plan, and this plan details the steps that will help as in improving various process in our project. And the plan is developed in the plan quality management process and implemented in the quality assurance and quality control processes. So areas included in the process improvement plan are as follows: process boundaries, the purpose of the process, the start and the end date, the input and the output of the process. Second, process configuration, that is graphical depiction of the process. Third, process metric, it is used for measuring process efficiency. And fourth, targets for improved performance, that is targets for. Next is quality matrix. It describes the project or product attributes and how the quality control process will measure it. Uh, example of quality metrics are finishing the project within the budget and time, and the frequency of defects, failure rate, etc. The matrix and the tolerance level for variation is set in plan quality. And the attributes are measured in control quality. Next output include quality checklist. It is based on the product requirements. A checklist is developed. The checklist will list the steps to be followed to achieve the desired quality for the product, and the checklist should also contain the product requirements. And the last, that is document update, it includes risk register, requirement traceability, matrix, and WBS dictionary, that is work breakdown structure dictionary, are updated. So this is everything about the quality management plan, that includes some inputs, some tools and techniques, and output also. So you can use any of the tool and technique to uh, make a quality in your project. So in conclusion, quality management is a robust framework that touches all aspects of your project from start to finish, and it requires the involvement of all project team roles and stakeholders. However, with the template in this complete session, you can quickly get started on a robust plan of your own. Once implemented, you will be able to install a deep quality focus throughout your team's work that will be represented by those who will see the results of your project. So thank you so much for this lovely session. In my next lecture, that is my next fourth lecture, I'll cover up the complete topic of quality assurance. So thank you so much for this lovely session.